I think this is an example of a perfect film, and I don't use that term lightly. I don't know that I've seen 10 movies in my life that I would call perfect. 1986's Aliens actually got nominated for 7 Academy Awards and won 2 in technical categories. I think it should have at least gotten a nomination for Best Picture. I think the fact that there have been multiple poorly received sequels and spin-offs in the years since has kind of watered down the reputation of that film. But they also demonstrate how above and beyond James Cameron's team went. If, in the wake of that 1978 film, they had asked somebody to come in and just write a sequel where the only gimmick is there's a bunch of aliens instead of just one, I think that would have been seen as one of the easiest jobs in Hollywood because that original film gives you so much to work with. So it would have been very easy to be, if not lazy, then at least basic with it. Because if you just start with the fact that you've been given a couple of fantastic creature designs, including this thing with the mouth inside of its mouth, and this thing that violates your face, and the fact that all of them have acid for blood, and just the general look and atmosphere of these films, where space is portrayed as being dim and cramped and clammy and drippy. All of this does so much for the tension. If a creative team had just taken those elements, added multiple aliens, and just added the queen and the concept of the hive where the victims are stuck to the walls to be receptacles for the eggs. If they did that and nothing else, that alone would have made people regard it as a successful sequel. I mean, kids, you understand, this is entirely a pre-CGI creation. This is a puppet. James Cameron had all of that and then went so far above and beyond that it's almost absurd. Just the invention of the Space Marine. Do you understand? That's where this came from. This was taken from Aliens. This is so iconic and became so common across the world of video games that when people go back and watch this film, they probably think it's a cliche. In 1986, it wasn't. But then there's a fact that all of this serves a story. None of it is just there for the cool factor. The first part of the film has to build up these guys and their tech and their weapons and make them look invincible. Specifically so that it will be such a massive gut punch when they finally encounter the aliens and all of it fails them. And then you have elements like this motion tracker gadget. There are horror screenwriters out there who, if they had just come up with this and no other gimmick for their film, would have been proud of themselves. This perfect merger of prop and effects and sound design. With this piercing, shrieking gadget signaling their doom. It's like a heartbeat.
Can't be, that's inside the room.
It's reading right, man, look.
There are other screenwriters out there who, if they had just come up with this gimmick, would have patted themselves on the back. Where in that initial ambush from the aliens, the officers have to watch it play out as a found footage horror. Where everybody's got these grainy cameras stuck to their helmets and their vital signs displayed above it. And the perfect horror that plays out where they watch the disaster here and they're helpless to do anything about it. And then on top of all of that, adding the emotional core of motherhood here, where the creature they're taking on, this alien queen, is a mother herself. So you have this weird parallel. And adds this whole additional element where you've got all of these badass soldiers, but now they've got this to protect. And on top of all of that, this film has that rarest of elements in horror, which is characters who are smart and competent and who make decisions that make sense. When they encounter the aliens for the first time and get their butts kicked, they actually do the thing that we all scream at families to do in haunted house movies, which is they say, hey, we're gonna get out of here. Every time they get thwarted, there's a good reason for it. Even the evil weasel character who's trying to help the aliens, there's a reason he's doing what he's doing, and he has a specific plan. And then, after all of that, after making this incredible death-defying escape as the planet blows up behind them, knowing that if the credits rolled right there, it would have been considered an all-time sci-fi horror classic, the Queen jumps out and we get a bonus fourth act where Ripley has to fight it wearing a mech suit. I'll say it again. If another creative team had just come up with this sequence and tacked it onto an otherwise unremarkable movie, that alone would have gotten them declared legends in the genre. If it sounds like some of us are kind of down on the Avatar franchise, it's because we know what else James Cameron is capable of. But he's decided to spend the rest of his life doing just that. But then again, after making this film, he doesn't owe me anything.